Hey, what's going on, guys? Today's task is taking this interior out. The front seats and back seat, as you see, I don't have the actual seat, I just have the backrest that's in there. So I'll just be unbolting that and taking it out. I have some carpet that I'd like to rip up, so I think today's going to be a pretty nasty job with all of this. As far as the seats go, as you can see in there, there is no floorboard up front. In the center, it's only held in because of that seat bracket, and the seat's still there. The back is there, but barely. I believe on these, when you pull the lever, you have to push them back to get them out. I don't remember if you push them all the way back to pop them out or forward, but I'm going to try both ways and see what I can do. It's going to be a little tough because, as you can see, this whole thing just rocks around, so it's not just going to be an easy slide to get out. So probably not going to have it on camera for that, just because I can't hold the camera and do all of that at the same time. But like I said, basically I want the front seats out, the backrest out, steering wheel, and I want to unscrew the dash, the padded dash that's on there. I don't know how it's going to look, but I'd like to take the padded dash off and leave it off if possible. Like I said, not sure how really that's going to look, but that's the game plan with that. So front seats, back seat rest, steering wheel, dashboard. I was debating taking out the headliner, but again, that's another super messy job. I don't know if I have enough time for all that today, but if I get to it, the headliner will start to come out as well. So stay tuned. As you can see, I got the passenger seat out. That one actually came out pretty easy. I started with the driver's side, but it's just so rusty and I wasn't sure how the mechanism worked, so I came over to the passenger side because the floorboard it's there, so it was a little more sturdy to pull out. And looking at the mechanism that's used to move the seat, it's right here. It's spring loaded, but it's kind of corroded up, so didn't really come off all that easy. This pin actually wasn't connected, so I ended up pulling the pin out and slid the seat right back, popped right out, no problem. So now I know what I have to do on the front. I have to actually grab this pin, pull that pin out, because it may not be connected to this spring mechanism, just like this one wasn't. So as you can see, there's also a few plugs that go in here for the seat belt, and this is the ground for your seat belt here, for the light to come on the dash, but obviously all that's going to be ripped up. So mine was stuck a little bit. It's because one of the plugs was still on there, so that came right out. So getting closer. Now I get to work on the driver's side, so now that I have an idea of what's going on under there. So I'll be back in a few. Alright, I got the driver's seat out, maybe 5 minutes after. As you can see though, this one is a lot worse off. The seat bracket actually fell below down here and was jammed. I kept hitting that, so I couldn't slide it back because it didn't want to come back up, so I could slide it back. That's on the interior of the vehicle. The exterior side was the same way. It's all rotted out in the bottom, so it had just fallen through. So it was really jammed in that way. This piece right here ended up, I guess it was just on by a few pieces of rust, but it ended up breaking off as I'm trying to get the seat out. This pin here, same as the other side, but this one was in there pretty good. Wasn't attached in any way, but as you can see, it's not attached to anything anymore. But on this side, where I ran into the issue, I couldn't really see because it's under the seat. The light couldn't really get under there. I'm trying to situate here. But my issue with this was this retainer here. When I'd slide the seat backwards, it ended up getting caught in here, and because of the way the seat was in there, couldn't see it. So took a little bit to finally get under there, and I found that. So I slid the seat forward a little bit. Sorry, the light keeps falling. And once I slid the seat forward, I could see that the tab was sitting in there. So I ended up pushing this down, going forward a little more, and then backwards. Like I said, I couldn't get it to slide all the way backwards because it had fallen through the floor. So basically I just twisted the seat and popped out. So I don't know if the brackets on the driver's seat are going to be usable. I'd like to have low back seats in here. Not sure what years fit in what. As far as the seats go, I don't know if those seats can be modified. But to me, having the high back seats that they are, they take away a lot. When you look in the windows, to me it blocks a lot of the view. So I like the low backs. So my next order is pulling out these seat belts and unbolting that back seat, which shouldn't be too much of an issue. It looks like just one bolt over here and then a tab over there. That's what I can see from here. And then it's just unbolting those bolts for the seat belt. So that should be fairly easy, but that's what I'm going to get to next. See you in a bit. Alright, I am almost done for the day here. As you can see, I got the seats out, seat belts. I took all of the carpet out of the front. There was some still glued down. I took that out. I do have a couple spots. One right here on this driver's side door frame, and then in there where the heaters are. I don't plan on having any heaters, so all of that can be pulled out and removed. This shouldn't be an issue since it only goes, maybe 6 inches. So probably cut it 10 inches or so on each side and just make a patch panel for that. So I don't see a big deal there. The dash, taking that apart right now, and I got it pretty much all the way. You have to take like 6 screws off the bottom, the few screws out of the glove compartment, pop those out. You can unscrew a few of the knobs that are still there. You have these, which are to the left and right of the speedometer. They actually have little tabs that are either bent down. Mine were actually twisted in place and to hold them there. So I got all of those off, and I have the other side too, which is the speaker cover, which I believe it's a 4-inch speaker is what I'm going to end up putting back in there for the system. So have all that. There is actually a ring. Sorry, all the moving. There's actually a ring that goes around here that has some tabs. That has to be popped off as well. That's over here. You can see the tabs on the back. There's 4 of them, but if you pull off 3, you can get them right back on. As you can see on the dash, this is the only part I have left, and you can't really see it, but there's 2 screws. At least I believe there's only 2. Only 2 screws left on top of there, but the screws are all rusted out. That's kind of where I'm at, trying to figure that out. So to take the dash off, it's the screws on the bottom. You have to pop off the tabs for the speaker area and the other side beside the speedometers. There is actually a long screw that comes here that's attached to the dash that has just a nut and a washer on it. There's one on each side. Underneath the windshield washer, or the wipers I should say, that's where the 2 screws are. I can't really get to them, and they're rusted pretty bad, so that's kind of where I'm at. But once I get it out, I'll be back and we can finish this up. Alright, I got everything out that I'm going to do today. Dash is completely off, and up here it may be too dark, but I had to kind of beat those out to get them out, so they're just oversized holes right now. But like I said, I'm done for the day. I got all this out. I'm going to vacuum up some of this rust and a little bit of the stuff in here, but I'm pretty much done. As you can see underneath there, stuff all over the place, but I'm done. Interior's out. Next, I probably need to get the headliner and some of the odds and ends. Take out the controls here. I think they're welded in, so I might just have to use a chisel and kind of get that to come off. I'll have to look at it. I don't know if it's reusable or not. I know this side I can reuse just by pulling the spring and everything off. I'm not sure if it's broken there. I need to look into that. But I can take these off. Some random wires that are going everywhere. Some of the seatbelt stuff. That's all going to be on the next video. We're getting there though. Thanks for watching.